ladies and gentlemen, Scott Randolph.
All right, everybody. Welcome to the Scott Randolph podcast. So, Steve, what stunt hurt the worst?
Dude, I'm so excited to be doing this. There's actually only one fucking initial reason for it, which is to test out
The Rodecaster Pro.
Yeah, you want to hold it up?
Yeah, I just don't want anything to unplug.
Okay. I think, yeah, good. What the fuck was that? Oh, those are those bullshit headphones.
Yeah.
Okay, let's make this awesome right away. I'm extra excited about doing this so we can learn how to use our cool little fucking switchboard podcasting pro console. Mostly because it looks cool is all I care about.
Yeah, well, there's some music that went on as you said that because I didn't think it was going to work. People laughing. It's great.
Okay, nice. And that's why we're doing it. But the reason I'm excited about it, I asked Scott about the last test we did, which was in a rented van. We were sitting up in the front with the seat swiveled around, and I asked you, was it on your podcast? Or sorry, was it on your YouTube channel? You said yeah. I remember giving it to you. I remember you asking if you could post it. I said, how many views does it have? And you said about 1,100.
Mm-hmm.
And compared to what we put out there across the channels, that's a very small number, 1,100. However, fuck, dude, those, if it's 1,100 people, if it's 1,000 people, those are the diehards.
Yeah, those are the diehard fans, and if the next time they see you in public and they go up to you and they sing the song that you had played when your roommate snuck into your room, that's how you know they're the megaest fans of all time.
Wait, I don't even know this.
We will never surrender.
Yeah, it wasn't my roommate, it was my landlord lately. Yeah, it was the landlord who
She didn't live with you.
I mean, it was in her house, yeah. But, I mean, she was more of a tyrannical landlord. I forgot that I had told that story.
Never told that story before.
I've never told it. We shall never surrender.
So if a fan sings that song to you, that's like...
Well, yeah. What tune is that? Aces High, I think, from Iron Maiden?
That's so funny,
We shall fight in the streets. We shall fight in the hills. We shall never surrender. I got goosebumps.
That's heavy.
Right.
I was thinking, okay, so the other day somebody asked a question, and I don't think I've ever heard somebody ask you this question before, and I think it's relevant because like music's a big thing for your life. And so, do you remember the first album that you ever bought?
I didn't buy it. The first album that I ever owned was Michael Jackson's Thriller. I was wondering when the fuck you're gonna check the levels over there.
Oh, I'm checking. I'm sweating. I'm checking, and it's even for my own channel.
Right. This is practice run, man. You better be on that shit. I was thinking when we're in the van, you should have it on your lap, maybe.
I think
I'm trying to figure out
I think a table would be cool.
Right. Okay. We'll figure it out.
We'll make it look cool.
Yeah. My first album was Michael Jackson's Thriller. It was a gift which I received Christmas of 1983.
Christmas night. Okay, what was the first album that you ever bought?
The first album that I ever bought.
And where?
I lived in Miami, Florida, in Christmas 1983. That was fourth grade for me. I graduated each grade like on the number of years. So I graduated first grade in June of 1981.
That's funny.
Second grade in 82. So I graduated high school in 92. And so this is halfway through fourth grade. And then that January we moved to London, England. And I finished the second half of fourth grade in London, England, where I purchased my first album. I believe it was Eurythmics' Touch. Possible that it was Thompson Twins Into the Gap, but I want to say that Thompson Twins Into the Gap was my third album that I ever owned.
Was it a record or was it a
tape cassette? Tape cassette. And like this is all like very not heavy metal, very not like, tough guy. I was 9 at that time. I was 9 years old at that time. I don't know how many albums I bought. before I ended up, I was in a Woolworths. I believe it was a Woolworths department store. I was in the music section. I never even heard of heavy metal. I didn't know what the fuck it was, but my eye was attracted to this Iron Maiden album cover. I had no fucking clue what Iron Maiden was. I had no idea, but it was the number of the beast. And it was so fucking cool, man. And I remember I bought it just not knowing what it was, but I thought the art was so killer.
What year?
I was 10 years old. I don't know. I think I was in fifth grade at that point. Yeah, I was in fifth grade at that point, and
it was all downhill from there. You're like, fuck
well,
yeah,
dude.
man.
I mean, dude, I was so fucked, dude. That Iron Maiden album was the number of the beast. I was so fucking stoked on it, dude. It was just, I mean, it was like people describe, like, you know, when we talk to sober alcoholics, how they describe that, like their first
Spiritual experience.
their first drink. It was like, oh, it felt so warm going down, and then this comfort, like a cozy blanket, came over me, and all of a sudden I felt like I fit in. I didn't have that experience with alcohol.
Yeah.
I barfed and I fucking had a hangover. Like I fucking acted like an idiot, and I never wanted to, you know, like I didn't. I just thought it was cool that I did it, but I would describe that kind of experience with that Iron Maiden album. Like it was just like, fuck yeah, dude, this is just fucking raw, you know? This is what I'm about. Like this is there's just like I felt that this is something I can really get into.
Then what was your second heavy metal?
And dude, and within like a few days of I'm listening to this Number of the Beast album. And the song on that album, Run to the Hills. It says this, there's this, you know, this line in the lyrics, and they say, raping the women and wasting the men. And I was like running around the house, like screaming, raping the women and wasting the men. Like,
it's like, wait, what?
And it was like a song about, I think it's about like how the white man came to, you know, what's now America, and just fucking just genocide and pillage, and just the way that they treated the natives, you know. And I think it's a song that's essentially denouncing the horrible treatment of the natives by these colonists, whatever, these white men arriving in America. But my mom hears me running around the house screaming, raping the women, and she's just like, what? You're gonna fucking, what is this, you know? And I was listening, I was screaming while listening. So she grabs my Walkman and like pulls out the tape, and she just like fucking pulls all the ribbon out of the tape.
Really,
she's like, fuck this tape, you know, fuck this tape. And I'm like, what? But the thing was that I had this buddy who was, I don't know, he was like a grade or two ahead of me, and he lived across, he was like already way, you know, like, he, like, I mean, how have you been new? But I got a replacement. I was able to replace that fucking Number of the Beast like in no time, and I was just careful not to go running around screaming about raping women.
Yeah, you don't want to do that. What was the second album you got heavy metal?
I did a deep dive on Maiden. I remember Power Slave being a big one. You know, it was just kind of always all about Maiden. But like, I went on to describe for years and years to come, and still to this day, that when, you know, when asked about heavy metal music, I say that when I was 10 years old, my first Iron Maiden album taught me that I was a metalhead. My first Motley Crue album, which I got when I was 11 years old, taught me why I was a metalhead. You know, just because of fucking sex, drugs, and rock and roll, and it was just like, that's where just the attitude of it, you know.
What
like,
was the difference?
Rock star, bad behavior, just
yeah,
you know.
I
was just like, oh man. I loved Maiden for being like a little bit dark, a little bit heavy, a little bit antisocial, and I just loved fucking Motley Crue for just being so terribly behaved. I had I wrote this bit that Tommy Lee published in his book, and in it I wrote, Tommy, you were never my hero because you were a great drummer. You were my hero because you behaved so fucking terribly. I forget where I said that. I said that maybe on my earlier thing. But then, as it goes on, then when I was 12 years old, my first Slayer album taught me how bad the situation really was. Because, like, now I'm just straight, like, fucking... They called me a Satan worshiper in 5th grade because I was so into the heavy metal. It's because I fell in love with Maiden the way I did. But by 7th grade, when I was 12, now I was like, okay, dude, I'm all about Satan.
And then when you started smoking pot, did all the pieces start getting put together?
Dude, I was super heavy metal through when I was 12. When I was 13...
Were you drinking it all at this point?
Not really, no. I mean, I dabbled in it when I was 7th grade. There were a few times that I helped myself to my parents' liquor cabinet, but it wasn't anything that became a regular habit. When I was 13, though, I started skateboarding, and I didn't want to fuck with heavy metal music anymore. It was all, now it's like Suicidal Tendencies, like Misfits, like 7 Seconds, like more hardcore punk. So I made a distinct move from like thrash metal, like metal, to like hardcore and hardcore punk and straight edge punk, and like New York City hardcore. And then I stopped skateboarding and just decided, fuck it. So when I was when I was 16. Then now I'm going to become a pothead, like a fucking...
That's the one photo you have where you're like in your...
Well, that was, I think I might have been 16 at that point. But yeah, as soon as I decided I'm not just going to try pot. I'm going to become a pothead. This is going to be my identity. It's going to be what I'm all about. And like, I'm going to dive in. And so then it was just Grateful Dead. And that's why like... And crazy that you're such a Grateful Dead fan, too.
Yeah, it's I love it, dude.
And I want to say too, since like this is like particularly for like the super diehard fans, that I'm just so fucking surprised at how many people flock to follow Wendy's Instagram and Lux's Instagram. They've been like neck and neck, like for like how many. It's crazy how like.
Where are they at now? Because that post might have helped Lux
right,
out
yeah,
today.
Lux just passed Wendy.
With the wine guy, 69.
Lux was at 248,000, and Wendy was at 251. And Lux just texted me that she's past Wendy. Lead. She's at 253. But and you're still hovering down around like 30 or 40, right?
Yeah, I think I'm at 35.
It makes no sense. I mean, it just goes to show that dogs are like, people are fucking crazy about dogs.
And girls. Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't blame them.
Pussy and bitches.
I don't blame them. I would do it too.
It just doesn't make sense to me because if like the idea of if it's because my dog, like, if they want like more like insider behind the scenes access to like the life of Steve-O, then it's a no-brainer to follow you because you're the tour manager. You're like when we actually shoot shit, it'll be ages before I put it out. But you'll post a picture that day. Like if you want to know what's going on in our world, in my world, then following Scott Randolph is a no fucking brainer, and I can't believe
it's probably the best follow ever.
Right, I can't believe more people don't do it.
Yeah, well, I think it's all relative because I mean, fuck, I didn't even have Instagram when I started working with you, so I never even expected to have it. But 35 is fucking phenomenal.
Trust me, Wendy didn't have Instagram either.
Yeah, Wendy just fucking, she's only had it for like 3 years and she's fucking killing it right now.
I mean, dude, it's crazy.
It is crazy. I know there's an English Bulldog YouTube channel and the dog has 5 million fucking views for just his reactions. And I started going down a rabbit hole of like dog reaction videos and I'm like, all of these have millions of views. It's fucking crazy.
Right. Yeah, people love fucking dogs, man. It's so crazy how they love dogs and cats so much. Like we just watched that series. It's only 3 episodes. Don't Fuck with Cats on Netflix, and we were so like resistant to the idea of watching it. We didn't want to watch it because we know that it involves someone being like very fucking cruel to kittens, and like who wants to watch that? But like it got recommended to me by people that I care about, and it was just they're like, dude, don't just fight through it because it's so good, it's so worth it. And I'll be damned if it's not the greatest fucking 3 episodes of television that I have ever fucking seen. ever. I said to Lux, like, man, it sucks that the cats had to, like, get fucking dragged into it, like, I don't dig that, but like, fuck, it was so good that, like, if any, like, aspiring, wannabe, like, killers, like, want to fucking, like, be that creative and that entertaining, like, then I don't mind if some people got to die for more TV like that.
Yeah.
Just leave the cats out of it, dude.
Well, okay, so then I think I have one last question because I'm not sure if we have to go or not. But when?
Nah, I mean, like, we're good for another, like,
10 minutes?
Yeah, I think so.
You good, Randy?
We got our nudist fucking...
Nudist, dude.
Nudist handyman fucking Randy Stanger.
Our audience. First subscriber.
We got an in-studio audience, dude.
So I have a question. I was thinking about it.
And dude, does everything just sound great? Like, how come I got one side lower and the other side higher?
No, that's me. 1, 2.
Oh,
It's separating each one.
Gotcha.
And then this is what it's equal on the other side.
And it's not too low, you don't think? It seems like much better than...
What is this, amateur hour?
It seems so much fucking better than what we were using before.
Yeah, no, it sounds really, really good in my ears, too.
This light's hot, huh?
It is hot. But let me ask you a question. Okay. At when was the point in your life, and I'm thinking, like, when you adopted Walter or when you adopted Bernie, where you were like, I'm just going to fucking start rescuing as many of these guys as I can?
I resisted having any kind of pets for the longest fucking time. I just felt myself, because I mean, this is before I got sober. I felt like, dude, I can't be trusted with a fucking hamster, and I'm so, like, I'm so immature, I'm so entitled, I'm just so undisciplined. I'm just, like, I lack the qualities to, like, care for an animal, like, I respect life too much to be in charge of it, and like I enjoy my freedom too much. I always want to travel. I don't want to be thinking about fucking animals,
But when you see a dog, sorry to cut you off, have you always been like that, or you
pretty much? I think pretty much.
And still, you never wanted an animal even after that?
It was just too much responsibility for me. I didn't want the responsibility, and and so then when I got sober. They say don't get into a relationship for your first year. And I made it like 7 months, and I got into a relationship with this girl, Beth. And Beth had a dog, and one day in May of 2009, when I was over a year sober at this point, we went by an adoption thing, and I saw Walter, and like Walter kind of took to me, and I picked him up, and I thought he was so fucking cute. I looked at this dog, and I thought, I've got news for you, Walter Cronkite. You are gorgeous. And I turned to Beth and I said, his name's Walter. Like that.
Came to you.
That was how I named Walter, and sure enough, he proved to be a fucking terror and an asshole. But Beth wanted to adopt Walter as her second dog. I couldn't even have a dog because I lived in a halfway house, a sober living house. So it was going to be her dog. Then ultimately, we broke up like that summer in like August. And at that point when we broke up, I told Beth, I said, hey, if you want Walter, I don't want to take him from you. But if you don't want Walter, I don't want you to be burdened by him. So I leave the choice with you, like what should happen to him. And she wanted to keep, she said, no, I want to keep Walter. But the thing was, he was just fucking on the attack all the time, just biting people, just fucking growling, just doing his thing. And when I got out of sober living, there was a question. She says, I can't fucking deal with it. So we boarded him at the vet. Just took Walter to the vet, boarded him there, just said, hey, we just need to get him off of our hands for a few days. Went back to pick him up at the vet, and they said at the vet, all 7 doctors who work here like unanimously agree that there is no help for Walter, and that the only thing that you can do is put him down. Just put him to sleep, just fucking kill him because he's got rage disorder. And I'm like, I was so mad to hear that. I was incensed. I was like, You're fucking suggest that we kill our dog, you fucking assholes. You're supposed to care for these animals. And like, I went from that, I was like, okay, fuck the vet. And I said to Beth, let me, like, I'm just going to take him for the night, just so you don't have to worry about him, just for the night. And then now I got this apartment. This is when we were filming Jackass 3D. And I just moved into this apartment. And I thought I was going to have Walter, like, for the night. And by the next day, that little fucking guy won me over. I was like, man, I don't want to fucking cop. I told Beth, I was like, I want to fucking keep Walter. I don't know why I wanted to, because he's such a fucking asshole. But he went on to represent, like, kind of sobriety for me. And I remember, like, I felt that when Beth and I broke up, that I was like, I'd been careless with her feelings. I just felt that, like, I was like, fuck, you know, here I hurt someone, you know, and I just felt like the worst piece of shit about it. And I said, you know what? I'm just like, or they say, don't get into relationships early. Start off by getting a fucking plant. And so I alcoholically bought like 12. I got this whole fucking wall of plants in my room at the Sober Living. And they've all died except for one, which continues to live. And Lux has turned it into 4. She cloned it into four different plants. Lux is so rad with plants. But yeah, so that went to plants. And then when I decided to keep Walter, that was my next thing. I was like, okay, now I got this dog. And this dog represents like my recovery, you know, just like the plants do. Like I can't have that last plant couldn't die.
Yeah.
And I told Lux how important that last plant is because it's like, you know, sometimes your recovery is strong, but it just can't die. That's the only thing, you know?
But what was the switch that you're like, I want as many fucking dogs as I can?
Well, then I took Walter to the vet to get a parvo shot that he was overdue for. And the vet says, hey, there's this dog that got dropped off for the day like 2 months ago. It's been abandoned here. And do you want him? And I was like, I don't know if Walter's going to be very cool with it, but I'll give him a shot. And that was Bernie.
So
I got Bernie, the second dog. And then I was just kind of cool with the 2 dogs, Walter and Bernie.
Skateboarding down the street.
And we love that. And then it wasn't an idea to get more animals, really. I ended up getting a cat. Like, I was in trouble with the SeaWorld thing, and so I had to do community service. And for my community service, like, I got permission to go, like, help these animal, like, charities, whatever. And they brought me to this cat spay and neuter clinic that adopted, and then Olivia came and I was like, okay, fuck it. I thought I didn't like cats, but then
same here.
When I got Olivia, I was like, okay, wait a second here. It's not fucking a hassle. I don't have to walk Olivia. She's not fucking pissing on the floor in my house. She's not barking and fucking driving me nuts. Yeah, cats are. I started resenting the dogs.
And then you got Winnie.
Then I got Winnie.
And then you got a third cat. Thank God that didn't work out.
And I got Lux. I should say I've got together with Lux, and Lux brought into the picture Olive. The cum guzzler. And then I met Wendy in Peru.
No, but then you had the third cat didn't work out.
No, I had 2 cats. And one of them got killed by the coyote, and then I replaced the second cat. And we never had 3. We had 2. And Francine got killed by a coyote while all the Jackass guys were here in the house. You heard an awful scream, and you opened up the gate, and you saw the coyote fucking killing Franny.
And then I was like, hey. And then they went away, and then she looked at me, and she's like, oh, like relieved.
And then the coyote came
just
back,
grabbed it and took off. There's like 3 or 4 of them.
Dude,
those things are fucking gnarly, dude.
Dude.
Sorry to tease it, dude.
And then we replaced Franny with Winnie.
Yeah, and wasn't there a cat that just didn't get along, and then
oh yeah, that was Delilah. We did try to get a third cat, and then
thinking
Delilah was the sweetest little thing, and then she shows up and just starts fucking doling out claws to all the dogs. And I'm like, yo, you can't do that.
Dude.
And then we got Wendy.
You would have so many animals in here just fucking
Then we got Wendy, and then we got 3 goats.
Yeah.
And then after the 3 goats, then we got a 5th dog. Chester.
I mean, dude, you're going for it.
I know. It's a lot of work, man.
Get a 6th dog, dude.
That wasn't. I mean, we're back down to 4 because Chester fucking attacked everybody.
But what about, you ever think about getting a 5th dog?
I think we're good, man. Chester was a very painful lesson in biting off more than we can chew. The next move for me would be chickens, dude. Especially in this pandemic because, like, they got a limit on how many fucking eggs you can buy. And so then when there's not a limit, I fucking buy 3 cartons. And we go through the 3 cartons of eggs in like a week.
How many chickens would you get?
And all the people, I thought you were a vegan. And like, dude, I'm sorry, but I think eggs are good for you.
Best.
And I fucking eat eggs. I also think fish is good for me. You know.
How many chickens are you gonna get?
I want to have 5 chickens, 4 dogs, 3 goats, 2 cats, and a partridge in a pear tree.
I like that.
But Lux won't go for the 5 chickens.
Will she go for any chickens?
Will Lux go for any chickens? She thinks she's not prepared to increase our workload because, sadly, like, while I've come a long way, I am still pretty fucking bad at doing shit that I don't. And I love all the animals, but like Lux gets stuck doing a lot more of the taking care of the boat or the goats.
Yeah.
You know, taking care of the goats, and you know, like I'm pretty good with it, but like I'm so fucking focused.
You got shit going down. Every day there's something fucking showing up at the house where it's like some project that's coming up. We got a good thing maybe happening tomorrow with our phone call with those guys.
Yeah, dude.
Like shit's popping off, dude.
I mean, dude, we're working really hard, and you know, like it kind of came. It's a shitty thing to say, but like we fucking just accidentally, you know, like set up like other shit to do right in time to stay good and busy during this pandemic.
But I couldn't, like, you're not somebody that would just sit there and fucking wait around for like you're pretty good at inventing yourself. I think like even if we didn't have those things lined up, like we'd be doing something.
Sure. But with that said, like for how long did I fucking waffle on the podcast? Remember, like you were saying, dude, we got to be doing a podcast.
I've been asking you for 3 years.
Right. And so I'm hardly like the most fucking spring into action kind of guy as it relates to everything. But we did like little bit by bit, and with the camper van, and we kind of put some practice under our belt. We really slowly like built up to it, and now look, like thank God we put in the work to get to a point where we were ready, so that when the podcast did come out, look, we came out swinging, dude. We came out fucking.
I know.
Came in hot with the podcast, dude. I'm so psyched on it.
For sure. And I feel good. Like, did you meditate today?
Fuck yeah, every day.
How long?
22 minutes.
15. It's a game changer. I can't explain it, but things just click in the place to where you don't. It's fucking just chill, dude. You got to go. I know you're gonna have to go.
Yeah, now I do have to
late.
go. But
it's only 4:30. Holy shit.
Okay, dude, we gotta fucking show off my okay, my current streak. 123 days, averaging 41 minutes. Even though when I get my second meditation in, I average 42 minutes.
So how many hours is that of meditation?
In the last 123 days, I have meditated for 85 hours and 51 minutes.
That's 85 hours of your eyes closed in the middle of the day.
Yeah, I mean, I do the second meditation at night a lot, you know.
That's cool.
Like,
and you notice a difference?
I mean,
I remember I'll call you sometimes, like, dude, we gotta fucking da. And you're like, okay, let's just relax, take a step back, and I'm just like, fuck, raging, dude. And it's like, obviously, I haven't meditated. That's when I was like, all right, dude, there's a difference in like how I'm reacting to things, and Steve's just like, take a beat, Scott, and fucking chill.
Right? I think it's a subtle thing, but I think it's also not so subtle, man. I think meditation helps a lot.
Look who it is.
Wendy! Hey, good girl!
Hey, good girl! You're such a pooper.
Oh, my baby.
That's so
Wendy,
funny.
come here, good girl. Wendy, up. Up. Wendy, up. Come on, up. You get up here. Wendy, up. Oh, you.
No, but Olive will.
All right, man. So, yeah, like...
I think that was cool. And then all I got to do is hit record and it stops. So thank you guys for coming by.
Yeah, like go ahead and dump it onto a drive so that Paul can put it together for you.
Thanks for watching, everybody. We'll see you next time.